Andre Bazin was a film theorist who, in 1967, wrote the Ontology of the Photographic Image, focusing on the idea of realism in cinema through photography. Andre Bazin's Ontology of the Photographic Image is based around the ideas of the image of photography as realism, a preservation of ourselves ideally, and the trust society places in these images. Bazin's ontology being an analysis that shows a subject's properties and relationships within them, focuses on 1960s photography. But what concepts that he presents connects to our society evermore 50 plus years later? Bazin understands the humanistic necessity of preservation through artistic forms such as painting and photography, stated as that there is a development of the preservation of life by representation of life. He relates this to cave paintings and paintings of kings, such as Louis XV, being content with living on in his paintings by producing an ideal image of himself. But with the advent of photography, Bazin understands that there is no need for preservation as survival after death anymore, simply as today the making of images no longer shares a utilitarian purpose. It is no longer a question of survival after death, but a larger concept, the creation of an ideal world in the likeness of the real. He's expressing that our use of photography creates the world in our ideal mind. Half a century later, the internet has consumed our lives, photography being an aspect in reality that we interact with on the daily but do not actually take the time to understand. We share images, and we actively consume them. The advent of social media apps such as Instagram, Snapchat, and Facebook have given society forms of mass communications to express our individual ideal worlds. Bazin argues that photography has freed human nature of the effort of the representation of life. As so, photography and cinema are discoveries that satisfy our obsession with realism. And also, with this ease of realism, he also states that the objective nature of photography confers on it a quality of credibility absent from all other picture making. Henceforth, this is an innate trust that is created with photography, that the index, as he states, which is the object being photographed, is presented to us with complete realism. This trust on the photographic image remains and is seen through our magazines, social media ads, and our personal digital archives. By personal archives, I'm referring to our personal online accounts like that of Instagram. This trust is something we innately place upon images, just as Bazin has stated. But in today's standards, we cannot truly trust those images as reality. Photoshop and photo manipulation is used on the daily to portray an ideal image that we want or to erase our flaws. This is seen in one video posted by the channel BuzzFeed, in which they conduct an experiment by photoshopping women to look like images that we see in magazines. Their takeaway is that the image is not the reality into which the photo represents, as that they know that the true reality, but the photoshopped image is an ideal standard that they wish was reality. Another interesting take upon the fight between realism and photography is observed through Instagram models, especially one named Little Michaela. Little Michaela is an Instagram model with over 1 million followers. That is not a normal person. Her fame is built upon her not being a real person, and even to the point where she has some people questioning her authenticity. She looks like a normal girl, talks like one, and even hangs out with other people in real life like one. She even has her own music video. But, interestingly enough, she is just a CGI girl living in a reality portrayed by the images posted, but not in the real world. More than 50 years after Andre Bazin has written The Ontology of the Photographic Image, it is interesting to take a contemporary perspective onto the level of reality that we choose to portray with photography. The use of Photoshop and digital manipulation is proving to have an impact on our society's ideals, and it will be so much different within the upcoming future.